Come make me tell you about the things them way I want, sir. Back in the days when the dancer used to warm, sir. When Clinton Lindsay used to bust them, make them go on, sir. Whole heap of artists Clinton bring come up America. Some never know say Clinton Lindsay.
Welcome to Now You Know with Clinton Lindsay. I want to thank you for coming back and visiting, and of course to subscribe, and you always leave your messages and spread the word, continue spreading the word. Now on today's episode, I'm gonna take you back to, let's say, 1985. And on this episode is something that most people didn't know what happened or what did not happen. I'm gonna take you back to October. It's about October of 1985. I got a call from a big spender out of Brooklyn by the name of Dukey. When I make references to big spenders, I'm really talking about, people who juggle rich, people that got rich out of drugs and so on. Because back in the 80s, let's face it, drugs was a big thing back then. And you have quite a few guys who were very successful doing that. And I learned that even though they do that and that's their thing, they have in common the music industry. They love to be involved in the music industry. So whenever I get a call from a big spender, I automatically know that it's about some music business, because they know I don't deal drugs, I'm not involved with drugs, or I don't belong to a posse or any political group or anything like that. So when I get a call from them, they already knew that I'm not involved in any of what they do. So he called me, said he wants to have a talk with me. He said even if he has to come to the Bronx, because these guys in Brooklyn, they think the Bronx was so dangerous. And vice versa. The man in the Bronx don't have nothing to do with Brooklyn either. So I gave him my address, and I told him, yeah, come on down, come over and let's talk, let's see what you have in mind. So when he came, he said he wanted to keep the biggest dance that New York City has ever seen. I said, wow, biggest dance? He said, yeah, man. And at the same time, he told me that he had done the show previously, maybe months prior or a year prior, with Rita Marley and the Marley. Rita Marley and maybe Ziggy Marley at the Empire Roller Ring. And it was very successful. I was not involved with it, but I knew of it. And it was very successful, and he wanted to continue doing these things. So I said, no problem. So he's telling me now that here he was telling me that he wanted to do the biggest dance New York has ever seen. So I said, fine, how can we make that happen? He said he already contracted Barry G and David Rodigan. He wants to have someone representing New York, because he wants to make it London versus Kingston versus New York City, something like that. So I said, well, you check with Gil Bailey and Ken Williams or Philip Smart, somebody. He said, no, me want. He said, me? I said, I've never done anything like that before. He said, no, man, you just have to play a tune. You play a tune, Barry play a tune, you get 2 minutes, 3 minutes. I said, oh, okay, that's it. I said, yeah. So he said he would pay me $3,000 for the night. And I'm like, $3,000 just to go up and at the Empire Roller Ring and play music? He said, yeah, play with Barry and Rodigan. I said, well, count me in. I'm down with that. Yeah, I'll do it for $3,000. You're talking 1985. And just imagine $3,000 for one night. Couldn't resist. So he said, all right, it's a deal. It will be New York versus London versus Kingston. I'm saying, fine. Now, I was so excited, I'm going to be paid $3,000 for that one night. So I went, eventually I went to my wife, Annette, and I said, hey, Annette, guess what? this guy from Brooklyn, he's planning a big dance at the Empire Roller Ring, and with Barry G, Rodigan, and me representing New York. And, he's paying me $3,000. She said, you representing New York? I said, yeah. She said, why didn't he go to Gil Bailey and whosoever, I said, well, he said he would rather have me because, I'm like the rising star and all of that. She said, yeah. She said, listen, Barry G and Rodigan have been doing this for a while. They are experts. They have the experience. You just starting your career. You don't need to get mixed up with them. And then she said, lizard don't belong in a cockfight. I'm like, I've heard that growing up. What exactly does that mean? I'm like, she said, lizard don't belong in a cockfight. In other words, it means two cocks are fighting. Roosters are fighting. And a lizard wants to go in to make peace. Those two roosters would gang up on the lizard. They would gang up on the lizard and pick him up and kill the lizard. So when lizard see two cocks, two roosters fighting, he should continue. I said, really? She said, yeah, you don't belong with Barry G and Rodigan. They will gang up on you and you just starting your little career. They will gang up on you and embarrass you and shame you and beat you and all of that. I said, wow, I never even thought of it like that. He said, yeah, don't do it. I said, all right. Went back to Dukey and I said, Dukey, I can't do this dance. I can't be involved with it. And he asked me why. I told him, Barry and Rodigan been doing this for the longest time. They are experts at it. Me, though, I've never done it with anything like this before. He said, no, man. What, I'm money at the issue? I said, no. He said, all right, yeah. I'm paying Barry and Rodigan $5,000. They're both getting the same amount of money. So I will pay you $5,000 too. And I said, whoa, $5,000? And he said, yeah, he will pay me $5,000. So I went back to Annette. I said, Annette, listen, the guy insists on he's saying that he will pay me $5,000. He said, don't do it, Clinton. Don't do it because when it's over, Barry's gone back to Jamaica, Rodigan goes back to England. You're going to be right here with these people, and I'm sure they're going to gang up on you and beat you. And you have to face your audience, you have to face New Yorkers, and, you're going to be embarrassed and all that stuff. I said, wow, okay. I said, man, $5,000. So I went back to him and I told him, nah, I can't do it. He said, come on, man. I said, nah, I can't do it. But what I'll do the paperwork. He had a list of artists that he wanted to come to be guests on the dance at the Empire Roller Ring. And I believe it was the first time I was bringing in Shaka Demus. I believe Anthony Redrose was on that, and I believe Tiger was on that. Those are the three artists that came to mind. So I said to Dukey, I would do the paperwork, get them their visa, their work permit, and bring them in. And he said, okay. He was disappointed, but he said, okay, at least, I will still make a change out of the dance because these artists have to have their work permits. So the dance was set for December 14th, 1985 at the Empire Roller Ring. And dance started and Barry and David Rodigan was going neck and neck. It seemed to me, and based on the measuring the audience reaction, that they were getting close. It was getting close to maybe a tie. So somebody have to do something now to break out from the pack. And Rodigan introduced a rhythm that he got from King Jammy, a rhythm called Father Jungle Rock. And he opened that piece of rhythm with Little John Clark's Booty And oh my goodness, oh my goodness, that crowd went wild. And then he played some other artists. I don't remember the rest of the artists them. But all you could hear inside the roller ring was pull up. And I think with that, it gave Rodigan the edge over Barry G. I think that gave, and I think the DJs them, because I've never heard that rhythm either. Because it was the first time, exclusive, Rodigan said. That was the first time that rhythm was played in New York. And that's the way it went. The dance just featured Rodigan, London versus Kingston in New York City. So they did their thing. I kept my my dignity, I kept my reputation, and that's exactly what happened. December 14th, 1985. Now, thank you for joining me. Subscribe, leave a comment, and spread the word. Until next time, this is Clinton and Lindsay. Now you know.
Clinton Lindsay, a promoter. Bring up the biggest set of artists from Jamaica. Like Super Cat and Mr. Early be the doctor. Only for artists, no for them, me can't remember. Who can remember when them used to keep Jamaica? The kind of show that used to give out no for water. To reggae artists.